Hey, come here, check this out. Today we're going to be playing around with some shreddy stuff over the C sharp scale. Check it out. Okay, I got a backup track queued up. I'm going to show you some licks kind of like that in just a little bit. We're going to be looking at the C sharp minor scale. In this case, we're going to be playing it on the 5th string, but we can also play it starting on the 6th string as well. And I'll show you where both those boxes are. But before we get into the lesson, I am going to extend this over to my Patreon. So if you do like this lesson and you want to check out more of this kind of stuff, go on over to patreon.com, and there's a channel over there called Just Pick Up the Guitar and Go, which is where I'm at, and I'm putting out lessons regularly on Patreon. And also, if you like that, if you like this, if you want to get more, I got a free course out there at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com. It's a 7-day free course, help you unlock the fretboard, play with confidence and ease, and all those links and everything are down in the description, so be sure to check that out. Okay, we're going to take a look at 2 places where this C sharp minor scale is actually out on the fretboard. There's more than 2 places, but we're going to look at 2 box shapes today. And whatever you do in one of these box shapes, you could do in the other box shape. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at, first of all, on the 5th string at 4, 6, 7. 4th string, 4, 6, 7. 3rd string, 4, 6. 2nd string and 1st string at 4, 5, 7. And that's your whole box shape right there. If you've already checked out my free course over at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com, then you know that that's your 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4 anchor shape. And then on the 2nd string and the 1st string, you get your 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 anchor shape. We can also play this shape starting on the 6th string at the 9th fret. And we're going to play those 2 anchor shape patterns. We're going to play the 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4 pattern first. And it's going to be played on the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th of the 6th and the 5th string. When I get to the 4th string, I'm going to play the 9, 11. Then on the 3rd string and the 2nd string, we're going to play the 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 pattern. But I'm going to play it a little bit differently because we're going across that 2nd string. When we do that, we have to change the way we play a little bit. So on the 3rd string, I'm going to play 8, 9, 11. On the 2nd string, I'm going to play 9, 10, 12. But it's still that 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 pattern. Then whatever I played on the 6th string, I can repeat on the 1st string. So we're going to play 9, 11, 12. So then you got that pattern across 2 different shapes. And then of course this one. And of course you can continue that going up the scale on the 1st string. And it gives you the same sound. Now right at the beginning I was doing some licks with this that were kind of shreddy. And I kind of want to look at kind of some shreddy stuff today. I'm in kind of a shreddy mood. So this is the kind of stuff that I was looking at. And then speeding it up and adding more notes to it. And there's all kinds of really cool variations in there. Basically all I'm doing is on the 3rd string here, I'm playing that 4, 6. Then going to the 2nd string, I'm playing the 4, 5. And then just going back and forth between that. Which is in the scale. I'm just playing 4 notes that I'm finding within the scale. You could do that with any 4 notes. Here I'm playing on the 5th and the 4th strings at the 6th and the 7th frets. Or I could do the 4th and the 6th frets. Or the 4th and the 7th frets. Or on the 5th string I could play 4, 7. And then when I get to the 4th string, I could play the 6th and the 7th. That's a variation as well. Right? We could do that across any of these sets of 4 notes. And then you can start adding in notes. In my original lick, I added in on the 2nd string, the 7th fret. Then I added in the 4th fret on the 1st string. Then the 5th fret, the 7th fret on the 1st string. So when we put this to the backing track, we can go ahead and find our groove. That's always important. We got to find our groove. And once we find our groove, we can go ahead and start adding in some of these little shreddy licks. And I'll show you kind of how they fit in, just give you an idea of what you could play with. So the first step is to find the groove. I got a beat here, so we don't just want to jump into, right? We want to go ahead and find the groove. And you kind of hover around there. That's what blues players do a lot, right? Some of this can be pentatonic. We can go ahead and break this into the pentatonic if we wanted to. So it kind of fits nice and smooth, nice and slow, melodic, right? Don't have to do much there. If we wanted to speed it up, we could. So you're adding accents with the speed if you want to, but you don't have to. We can keep all of this nice and slow, nice and melodic. Here's the speed right here. And again, I'm just using that scale, right? That 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, or 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7 pattern, right? With your 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. The anchor shapes that I taught you over justpickuptheguitarandgo.com, right? Just take that same kind of stuff and just, and if we want to add those little shreddy licks in there, now you got your blues pattern in there too. Now that would be played like this. We can play that on the 5th string at 4-7, 4th string 4-6, 3rd string 4-6, then 5-7 on the 2nd string, and 4-7 on your 1st string. You do the same kind of thing with that, where you can take just 4 notes and just go back and forth. Like on the 4th and the 3rd string, we can go ahead and play that 4-6, 4-6. Notice I grabbed that diatonic note right there, the 2nd string on the 4th fret. So you can blend the pentatonic scale and the diatonic scale. It makes it more interesting, gives you more dynamics. We can also add in other shapes. So you can come on down here to that shape that I showed you that was across the 6th string on the 9th, 11th, and 12th. We can go ahead and add those notes right there, of course, on the 1st string in 9, 11, 12, to go ahead and change the range of this. It's the same notes, it's the same pattern, it's the same scale. We're just going from down here, playing higher on the fretboard, to up here, so we can get different stuff in there. We can add those same kind of licks. But it's going to give us a different octave and a different sound. So you put that to the backing track, you think about that. This is, again, a C sharp minor backing track. You can find this on my Patreon as well, but you can also grab your own from YouTube. Whatever you want to use, you find what works for you. So of course, just going up the octave. There's the same kind of thing. we can find the pentatonic here. On the 6th string, it'll be a 9-12. Then on the 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd, it'll be a 9-11, 9-11, 9-11. And then on the 2nd and the 1st, it'll be 9-12, 9-12. Now you got a second shape of the pentatonic that you could also play with, or the octave of the one that we played down here, right? So again, I like to play around with variations, but I also like to keep it simple. And the point of this lesson, and the point of the next lesson too, is how we can take a look at shapes like this and just find ways we can play within the patterns and train our fingers to go where we want to on the fretboard. In this case, you have a pattern that's starting out on the 4th fret of the 5th string, and we're just playing that pattern, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and then when we get to the 9th fret of the 6th string, we're playing that same pattern. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. So we're playing that same pattern, and it repeats here and here. And because of that, what it allows us to do is it allows us to go ahead and say, okay, we can play here, we can play here. And the cool thing about these kinds of things is that you can move these shapes around. So even though this was C sharp minor, so if I wanted to play in the key of C, I could take the whole thing. I could take both shapes, move them down 1 fret, which now I'm playing on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and I'm in the key of C, C minor, and I can take this one down here at the 9th fret, and I can go ahead and move it down 1 fret to the 8th fret on the 6th string, and now I'm playing the key of C here. It's the exact same thing. I didn't change any of the patterns, I just moved my hand down 1. You can move it up, move it down, and you got the same patterns. So you can take those two patterns, you can take those two patterns, just those two patterns right there, and go into a band, and they say, well, we're playing in the key of C minor, right? So you're here. And to be impressive, you can come on down here. Now maybe you don't know how to get out of those boxes, and that's okay, because you're learning what's within those boxes, and that's cool. Now you can, of course, train yourself to get out of those boxes, and you can train your fingers to get out of those boxes. Using those anchor shapes is one of the really cool ways to do that. That 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 pattern that I always show you in a lot of my lessons. Those are the anchor shapes that I often refer back to, and you can find those in a whole free course that I got out there for you. Just pick up the guitar and go.com. And I'm going to go ahead and extend this lesson in my next lesson here on YouTube. I got some more to say about these shapes. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and come back for that. I'm going to extend this over on my Patreon too, so the link will be in the description. Be sure to check that out. I'll be going into more detail in the Patreon lesson because I want to explore this a little bit more with you. Some things that I may not discuss on YouTube, I always put out there on the Patreon. And I am going to put the links to both the Patreon and the free course down there in the description. So again, grab that free course. If you like this lesson, you're going to love that. It's over at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com. In the comments, let me know what you thought about this lesson. Let me know if you have a favorite song that's played in C sharp minor, because I don't think there's that many out there. But I wanted to pick an oddball scale just to show you that you can move these things around, right? And I'll see you in the next one.